on miracles, many has happened. But the one that really stays in my mind is 2 months ago. My young grandson came in. He was running around and he fell and he cut his lip and the cut was gaping big, and everybody was hysterical, including the child. And so when I saw that, I took the child to the corner and I said, listen, just say this mantra, Om Benza Wiki Bitana Soha. And when he started to recite this mantra, he started to calm down. And then immediately I took a holy pill. This holy pill was blessed by oracle of Dorje Shugden. I gave him the pill, I took some water, and I used a rice that was also blessed by this oracle into the water. And I started to dab the wound with this water. And it was miraculous. I could actually see the wound closing, until the bleeding stopped and everything was done. And I said, oh my God, my protector is a doctor. And I was so happy that he used me as a nurse to see a miracle performed in front of my eyes.
I usually have a lot of fear, and before I go for the meeting, I'll do the mantra of Dorje Shugden, and of course, after I enter the meeting, things usually, surprisingly, I get what I wanted, and every single time, things turned out to be more than 100% better than I expected. So that to me is very miraculous because perhaps it's in my mind, but I strongly believe the protector was there to guide me along the way. But one thing I realized is not sometimes limited to what we want the solution to be. The protector usually helps us by solving a problem in the way that is best for us. And in my case, I'm happy to say that it is actually much better than I actually envisioned the results that I wanted.
I got to know Dorje Shugden during the periods when I was having some financial difficulties at the period of time. And then I was, at that time, I have some debt with the bank. And also during that period, I was overspending and also involved in a lot of the multi-level marketings that had led me to use a lot of credit cards that accumulated such a debt. So I started to do Dorje Shugden, practice a mantra, and after that, it was kind of quite a miracle that I saw things getting smoother, and then I was able to pay the debt to the friends and family which I owe them because I was borrowing from them to cover my debt in the bank.
He told our family that Dorje Shugden told him via an oracle that the consultant had engaged a black magic practitioner to plant my hair in a jungle in Thailand as part of a black magic ritual to harm me and my family, and that I was experiencing some minor accidents which would eventually escalate to more intense harm. Dorje Shugden, through his omniscient ability, saw that and removed the hair from the dense jungle and assured that I would be fine after that. True to his words, I had already stopped getting into minor accidents even before my family member arrived home to convey this news.
I work, as you know, I work in the soup kitchen, and most of the time I deal with people's problem, and I see people's problem every day. And most of the problem is actually very hard to be so-called fixed. I fix people's problem, that's why. And in some cases, when we have to go through some government agencies or government departments where sometimes paperwork and we do hit some stumbling block along the way. Well, it is actually this time of the year, at this moment, I will actually embark myself into seeking Lord Dorje Shugden's help by maybe thinking about his images and also chanting his mantra and to seek help to ask for a smooth process for this particular homeless case that I'm actually dealing with, and to my surprise, actually, most of the time it just came out actually not most of the time, actually many of the times, it's actually literally all of them actually, it became very smooth for me.
In more recent times, after meeting my guru, His Eminence Tsem Rinpoche, my eldest son Gyalchen got very sick, and he had his lymph nodes swelled up, and there was just nothing we could give him at home that would make him feel better. And being an athlete, he was like, for him to come up to me, with worry and fear in his eyes, saying, "Mommy, I don't know what's wrong with me." We went to the hospital, and I had informed Rinpoche that Gyalchen is in the hospital. I mean, I toned it down. I mean, I didn't want to worry my guru, and then Rinpoche arrived, and then he did prayers, and I knew it was the prayers of Dorje Shugden. And Gyalchen drank water with the blessed protector rice and money pills of Dorje Shugden, and he started to recover. Of course, he was, we believe that the Buddhas put the doctors and medicine on the planet as well, so we do both. And until today, Gyalchen is well, absolutely well. He's back to sports, everything's normal. But until today, we could never get a clear diagnosis what was wrong with Gyalchen. I mean, the word virus, viral infection, that's so common. It's as common as, it's going to rain tomorrow. And so I'm just blessed that Dorje Shugden has been in my family, and now with my guru in our lives, the combination of guru and dharma protector is something that everybody should have, because it's blessings and protection and kindness beyond words, beyond.
One very unforgettable incident is when Dorje Shugden saved my grandson's life. You see, my grandson was born in the year 2011 in May. When he was born, his body turned blue. All the nurses in the hospital and the doctors had to resuscitate his life. My son, in great despair and fear, quickly rang up my daughter Suming. Immediately, Suming contacted my guru, and Guru, without delay, summoned Dorje Shugden's pujas to be done for my grandson. That was how Dorje Shugden and my guru saved my grandson's life.
Through the practice of Dorje Shugden, my relationship with my mother also got a lot better, because previously, before I was involved in spiritual practice, my relationship with my mother can say not so good. I always argue, and also I always speak loudly to her. But then now I learn to calm down, I learn to keep quiet, and also to contemplate on what my mom said, and also to just to respect her, and also just let her say what she wants. And then after that I just explain to her my understanding.
My daughter, she's 11 years old, and her name is Ashley, and she has some learning disability. We're actually trying to help her to overcome her problems, her learning problems. When I start chanting the mantra for about 2 months, I remember. So one fine day, one of my friends actually called me. She said, "Why don't you try this psychologist? This is really good, it's been helping a lot of kids." So we actually trying to look for help for her. In fact, we got many incidents being cheated, and a lot of them are not genuine. We actually have this, me and my husband, we actually have this a bit of a fear in us to go and see psychologists again. The minute we hear about psychologists, we say, was that really can help her or not? But then I told my husband, I said, why don't we just give a try again, no harm trying. So then we actually set an appointment to see her. and during the interview, we have to bring my daughter as well. So me and my husband was like, it's like we're very impressed with the way she actually tells us about her condition. And she actually told us that she's actually not all the time. People say she's autism, but she actually told us she's not. She's the first person ever who tell me she's not autism. She's actually, she says she has this, they have a term for this kind of child, and they actually name them, they say this problem is called a global learning disabilities. There were actually a lot of worries, because as a mother, you wouldn't want your child like don't know how to read, cannot speak, can't even read books, That was really a very sad thing, to accept, So then plus every now and then, because she don't communicate very well like a normal kids, so she get very emotional. Then we have a lot of throwing tantrums and all those things. So a lot of disharmonies, After knowing this protector, Dorje Shugden, after knowing the doctors, everything actually like 360-degree change, She's like completely, now she's like angels to us, She's very obedient, She learn, she progress, and she speak. In fact, her speech has actually improving as they go, And the most modern thing is she start doing the mantra as well. And she chant the mantra on daily basis, and she's more happier. This is what we want to see, right? As a parents, we don't want to see our child like unhappy, suffering, So this is how the protector has helped us and give us a lot of peace and harmonies. And the most modern is a hope as a mother,
Year 2005, when my mom passed away, and Tsem Rinpoche told me that your mom has taken a good rebirth. And I said, why? It's because that my mom is a person who doesn't speak, who doesn't know how to chant mantra and even read words. But you see, because of her faith with DS, and she's able to take a good rebirth. Okay, you see, and I asked my mom before, I said that, what do you talk every day to him? And my mom told me that I saw DS has helped you and your family, went through so much, and today you are better is because of DS. And I have faith in him, and what I pray to him every day for the peace. And I talk to him that to bless everyone. That's what my mom told me. And Rinpoche said that because of that, my mom has good rebirth, and in fact, she passed away very peacefully.
A lady volunteer actually came to me and said that she had problems sleeping because there's someone actually talking next to her ears and trying to wake her up from time to time, and she would get nightmares, and then her son would see dark images floating outside on his bedroom window. So immediately, without a single hesitation, I just told her about my benefit, the benefit of practicing Dorje Shugden, and I recommended her to do it ASAP. So I gave her the mantra, I gave her the image, downloaded it from the internet and sent it to her. And immediately she did it that night. And the next morning, when I called her to just find out how is she, and to my surprise, actually she said, oh, the disturbance gone, totally gone. It's like, no more. And the next day, and I also did ask about the how was the son, and the son over time said, oh, the son told her that he no longer sees something floating out from the window frame.
As my mother grew older, her Alzheimer developed and her angersome behavior became worse. Imagine, in 6 months, I had to change 6 helpers in my home because she couldn't get along with any one of them. And surprisingly, really amazing, actually it was a miracle, when about a year before her death, she calmed down. She learned to accept things and to let go. Guru had Dorje Shugden's pujas also done for her. That's why when she finally died, she died a very peaceful death. She died as though she was sleeping very soundly. We are all very, very grateful to Dorje Shugden and my Guru for helping my dear mother.
Matthew, my son, is 17 years old, and he was diagnosed with dengue fever about 8 days ago. Well, we stayed at home trying to nurse him and for about 5 days, and every day his platelets started dropping 50 to 60,000 points every day. I mean, it's very, very worrying as a parent. Dengue is something which is very rampant now in Malaysia. I mean, the statistics that are shown actually that dengue is it's more fatal than it was ever before. When you are a parent, you have to understand this, that if there was anything, you'd rather be the dengue patient. Yes. And how then am I going to be a parent if the dengue patient was my son, whom I loved so much? So I had to stay calm, and Matthew had to stay calm as well. I mean, the rest of the family as well. And we resorted to doing pujas, we resorted to doing mantras. When Matthew was warded in the hospital, he started bleeding from his nose. You see, hemorrhaging dengue is fatal. He was bleeding very profusely for 4 hours. In so-called a nosebleed. Nobody bleeds for 4 straight hours, I mean profusely. The ENT had to come and stuff something up his nose to stop his bleeding, but it was still continuing, though it slowed down. Rinpoche was very, very kind. He actually prescribed pujas. He did a Dorje Shugden puja.
Right.
Yeah. I understand it's a special puja for removal of such obstacles. The bleeding stabilized. It was still bleeding, but it slowed down tremendously. That Matthew started to rest a bit more. He relaxed a bit more, but I continued to do the kanshak next to his bedside. Matthew is much different now today. He got up and asked for a very heavy breakfast. He has not eaten for many days, a substantial meal. That to me as a mother is a great sign.
I was drawn to dharma, and that's had helped me a lot, you know, in understanding facts of life, how things work, and letting go of a lot of my anger, and understanding myself better. It has provided condition for me to volunteer my time to practice the dharma, and also for my family. And they were actually in a situation that they were unable to practice at all. So I think after practicing it, and they were kind of given the condition to practice dharma.
Years ago, you know, when we first started and we have a lot of confusion on where to go to or what to do in terms of our business. And we do have also Dorje Shugden's help in terms of Tsem Rinpoche did some divination for us, and he exactly tells us what to do and what we can see in the future. And following suit his advice, I think 10 years down the road, we really see and are really reaping the returns in a sense from all these advices.
I was coming out from a coffee shop in Mechanic and about to cross the street hurriedly, without realizing there was a van coming very fast on the right beside me. My body was moving forward really, but this van came forward. I just couldn't help but control to stop myself. But suddenly I found myself freeze because the van came swift past by me, and after that my body moved forward. Then I realized, oh, someone has helped me to hold me back. If not, I would have met with an accident.
What I feel is Dorje Shugden have provided, I mean the most important thing is he has provided me the conducive condition for me to do my dharma work. I can tell you, there are times where financially certain things have been pulled out. But then there's always another window of opportunity opening. I've seen that for myself to do Dharma work, because honestly, even though you work for Dharma, you have to pay the bills. You have to do a lot of things. But I see that by practicing Dorje Shugden daily, you know, by having that connection, certain window of opportunities open. Even for my own special projects, when you do Dorje Shugden prayers, when you request him to meet the right people will come. It takes hard work, effort, but it's easier. One very major miracle which Dorje Shugden had performed was actually my nephew. When he was born, when my sister-in-law delivered him, he was rushed into the emergency ward. And at that time, Rinpoche was with me, and Rinpoche rushed me down to the hospital. And Rinpoche just messaged me, get yourself into ICU no matter what. Blow your protector, which is Dorje Shugden's mantra, onto your nephew. Blow it 3 times, ask him to come and help. I saw my nephew, I mean, he was in ICU, there were tubes all over him. It was like in a small, what do you call that, the incubator, and he had basically tubes here, tubes on his nose, and he was just this small. And when I was blowing the mantra onto him, and of course I asked DS to help, he opened his eyes and he just stared at me.
Wow.
And when he stared at me, and I asked DS, I requested Dorje Shugden to help this boy. And it was quite amazing because right after I left the ICU ward, he got better. And within a few hours later, they could take out all the tubes. It was very instantaneous. It was incredible because even the nurses were shocked. Because normally with babies with this problem, it will take a week for them to heal their lungs, to start going back to normal.
Yep.
That was the miracle side what Dorje Shugden has done for my family, and in particular my nephew.
There was a miracle that quite recently, because at the moment I am also one of the Kachara Puja House alcohol volunteers. So I have the opportunity to go out to hospital visit with pastors. There was a person who was admitted to hospital in the ICU, which was terminally ill, and also was pronounced very difficult to survive. And then at the moment where me and pastor went to visit, then we decided to do a prayer on the spot, and then we rely on Dorje Shugden, and then we recite the mantra of Dorje Shugden, 10 malas. And then at the second day, on the second day, the pastor told me he received good news from the family members that the person survived, and also now on the way to recovery. At the moment that I know, the person now is healthy and also leading a normal life.
Recently, that I was down in dengue, and I was very bad affected actually. My platelet went down 12, okay, and I was in a very dangerous point. And I know that Dharma sister and brothers of Kachara do a lot of prayers for me, including Rinpoche. But you see, during the time I was very, very down, and I received Rinpoche's message to ask me to do prayers. The first thing I thought of is DS mantra, and I do my prayers well. But you see, during that time when I was down, I was disturbed by spirits as well. So during that time when I was in the hospital, that spirit come and really, really disturb me, and I just said, please do not, but he doesn't want to go away. And I came to my mind, I just say, okay, since that I do not want to do tremendous disturb, all right, and I just say, okay, and I remember that I say, okay, I do DS mantra again, and I chant Om Benza Wiki Bitana Soha. The moment that I chant Soha, and I can feel that the spirit really flew off just like that, and I wake up. And my daughter was next to me, and she saw me struggle very, very hard. And I told her that actually I said because I was disturbed by spirit, and I did DS prayers, and it helps me, and that's how I get up.
And also learn to let go a lot of the attachment to the secular things, attachment to a lot of the things I was chasing for. Somehow, in a way, nowadays, during my work, the things that my relationship with my client, my bosses, and my colleagues gets better, and also can sense that I think Dorje Shugden helped me in a way. I think provided the spiritual path, the path for me, guide me to where I am now. Although what I want has never been answered, but then what I need, Dorje Shugden have provided to me.
Over a while, I did notice a little bit of change in me, but well, what sort of changes in me? I feel my belief into dharma practice or some Buddhism theories or articles, some teachings, especially the ones provided by my guru, His Eminence Tsem Rinpoche, I felt I can relate to it easier. I can actually understand the article better, the teachings better, and personally I feel this way. I feel very fortunate because why I'm able to understand more about Buddhism, and thanks to Dorje Shugden actually, and how lucky am I to be actually connected with Dorje Shugden's practice, and also I feel like I should share it with people.
I think in all our lives we come across challenges, whether they're small challenges or big challenges, but when you have something with you, for me, that something is my guru, my dharma protector, Dorje Shugden, my dharma. I mean, having these three things in my life, it's a great asset if you want to look at it in the materialistic way, but it's more than just asset. It's something that helps me to move on, to improve myself, and for me to, it may be a bit of a striving to move forward, to change certain things which I don't like about myself, but after all this, I actually like very much the new me that I've discovered.
It's helped me to be more grounded here, so to be more clear about what I want to do here in Malaysia, in Kechawa, and to be more clear and to concentrate more, to be able to focus more on what is important for me.
When you are engrossed with certain projects where you need certain things to pull through, the conducive condition comes about. Sometimes another road opens up so that you will avoid that road, and you know very well when you don't know that it's danger, but it's only after you've been through the new road, which I very much believe Dorje Shugden actually open it up for you, that you know that, oh, thank goodness I didn't take that road.
Right.
So there's a lot of all this in this kind of signs, this kind of miracle help, which I see very much, even within myself. I mean, within others, I see a lot more.
In particularly, I have asked for example, huge, I'm talking about tens of millions of ringgit of rebates, for example, from certain organizations, and miraculously in my industry, and I think in any industry, it's a miracle that the company has gotten huge rebates that actually help the company to survive especially in the tough initial years. Without that, I think we would have, gone under already.
Whenever I said my mantra, there was a knocking sound on the wood. And I said, oh my God, how lucky I am in this life to have found something so divine who would stay with me. And all this, I thank my guru, Tsem Rinpoche, because in him teaching me about this beautiful dharma protector, I am able to always have to this protector, and to my root guru, Tsem Rinpoche. The two things that I will love, and the two things that I will do anything for, in order that I will be able to be of worth to them.